Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's Code Without Barriers virtual meetup on the topic of building AI agents and apps with Azure AI Foundry. And today's is we gonna jump into the AI agents. And today with us we have Harun Raseed, who is a Microsoft MVP, and he's also a MCT, and he is working as a data engineer. And he is going to be taking us through the topic and diving into Azure AI agents. Before we jump into the session, I just wanted to mention that the session is recorded. No need to record on your end, and we will be providing the recording after the session. And there is a certificate of participation provided at the end of the session. So make sure you fill out the form to get that. And yeah, and I also drop about the Code Without Barriers and what they've been doing for the women empowerment in the APAC region. And if anybody who is joined as a woman and is trying to break into technology or also already in their career and want to be building a ladder in the corporate, you can join the community to level up your career, and there's also mentorship provided and challenges that you can participate. So I have dropped the link in the chat box. Make sure you fill out the form to be registering and get all the opportunity that Code Without Barriers is offering for the women in the APAC region. So also that is all from my side, and the stage is all for Harun to get set up with the session. Over to you.
Thanks, Rag. Thanks everyone for joining this event on how to build your first AI-powered application. So I just want to understand about this group before proceeding. Like, how many of you are already working on AI? Could you please raise your hand in the meeting? Okay, I can see 7 hands raised, 8, 9. Let's keep on increasing. Okay, on average, around 10 I'm getting. Okay. That's good. That's good. Fine. So today what we are going to see is like how to build an AI-powered application quickly using Azure AI Foundry, and how to create a RAG-based application, and what is AI agents, all those things we are going to see. Before that, you need to understand what is this AI, right? What is meant by model, and how my base model is working. All those things we need to understand. First, I will give you a glimpse about how these things are working. Then I will take you all towards the Azure AI Foundry and show you how to create our application. Okay, so that is the plan. And let me start with the presentation. Yeah, about myself, I'm Harun Rashid Basheer. I'm a Microsoft MEP in data platform. I'm working as a data engineer in Hitachi Solutions. So that's about me. Okay, so I'm going to start with this particular term called every app will be reinvented with AI, because this is the most essential case nowadays, right? So everyone wants their AI to be equipped with AI, or if their existing application is there, they want to accommodate AI into their existing application. So that is how the current AI and data era is running. So everyone wants AI. So that's how we are doing now. And this particular graph is going to show you like how quickly this ChatGPT reached 100 million people. For mobile phones, it took 16 years to reach 100 million people. Likewise, internet took 7 years, Facebook took 4.5 years, but this ChatGPT just took 3 months to reach 100 million user. So what made this ChatGPT to reach 100 million users in 3 months is because we are the living example, right? We as individual, each and everyone is using ChatGPT. I hope, right? Can you please raise your hands if you are using a ChatGPT on your daily basis work? I'm using ChatGPT for my assistance. Yeah, great. Everyone is using ChatGPT, right? So that's how ChatGPT got evolved. Within just 3 months, it reached 100 million users. Okay, so that's how it is. We will deep dive more into the GPT models, everything. But before that, I will give you a flavor about this Microsoft Azure AI Foundry. So this is just a journey of Microsoft, right, from where they started and where they are now. In 2025, they are into this Microsoft Azure AI services. We cumulatively call this all these services as Azure AI Foundry. So AI Foundry is nothing but your one-stop solution for all your AI need. I will be showcasing this Azure AI Foundry, how it looks, and what are all the services we can get it from AI Foundry. Everything we are going to see in another 10 minutes. Okay, so with that, let's move to the language models. So we know, right, all these models, GPT, everything works on LLM, large language model. So we need to understand what is model first, right? So few years back, we were talking about ML models. Now, last couple of years, we are talking about AI model. So we need to understand the basic differentiation between this AI model and ML model. Okay, so AI is nothing but we know artificial intelligence is nothing but it tries to mimic like a human intelligence. Okay, that is AI. But ML is a subset of AI. Okay, and we need to aware that AI is nothing a new term. AI is existing right from when human invented code, human invented the if-else condition, and you ask the code to decide something. You ask the code to go into this block if this condition exists. That is an AI, right? You are asking the code to take a decision. That itself is an artificial intelligence, according to me. Okay, so AI is not a new thing. So AI is like it tries to mimic like a human. Okay, so that is how the differentiation between AI and ML models relies. So we need to understand these two major things. Everyone talks about LLM, but we should also know about SLMs as well. Okay, so what is LLM? As we already know, GPT-4 is one of the LLM model. Gemini is there, Claude, LLaMA, everything is there. So all this large language model, by the name itself, you would have got idea, right? These are big models with billions and trillions of parameters. Okay, it got trained on variety and vast data sets. So if your use case is for text generation, like our how GPT is doing, image generation, video generation, all those things, LLM is good. Okay, large language models are good. But what if your use case is limited to only personal assistant, or what if your use case is limited to any small cases? Okay, in those case, you no need to run or you no need to train your model with this vast amount of data. You can go with a lesser amount of data with a few parameters and train your model, and you can use those SLMs in your edge devices in the sense I'm referring to mobile phones. So for example, let's say Apple Siri, or any other AI assistant that is running in your mobile phone, right? You can create your own SLM models and you can run it in your edge devices. So SLM means you can simply consider SLM to a monk who is climbing the mountain. Whenever a monk is climbing a mountain, he will not carry any heavy stuff, right? He will carry only the needed things. So that is how the SLM also works. So it got trained with only very few parameters of data, whichever is needed for that particular use case. Okay, so that is the major difference between this LLM and SLM. Commonly used models in LLM are, as we already discussed, it is GPT, Gemini, Claude, everything. And in SLM, we can use 5.2, Tiny Llama, and Mistral 7B. These are some of the commonly used SLM models. So here I have given like some of the use cases or where exactly you can use this LLM and SLMs. So you can find like LLMs can be used in your web application, GPT models, or any chat application. SLM can be used in any of the mobile application or any of the edge devices. So this is how, based on your requirement, you either go with LLM or SLM. Why I'm giving this differentiation is you no need to stick to LLM every time. Based on your need, you go with SLM. Okay, so that is how the LLM and SLM differs. Okay, so now we got to know what is AI ML model and we got to know what is LLM and SLM, right? So now we will go and check how this actual language model works. Okay, so we'll see how any language model works. So can you please put in a chat window like what does our computer understand? Whether our computer understand English alphabets, or what does our computer understands, or any machine understand? Can you guys go and put it in the chat window? Great. Binary, digits, bits. Okay. Binary. Binary code. Okay. Numbers. Great. Yeah. So a computer cannot understand any English or alphabets, right? Our computer can understand numbers. Basically, as you all said, binaries, vectors, numbers. Okay, so computers can only understand numbers. So in that case, you should be getting this question, right? So whenever you are giving some prompt to your model, so our prompt is nothing but where it is going. It is going to a model. Model is nothing but a machine where it got trained with hell lot of data, right? So how does this model is understanding our alphabets? That we need to understand first of all. So any computer cannot understand alphabets or anything that as a human we are typing in the computer, right? So the first phase is like a pre-processing. Okay, so the first phase is tokenization will happen, then the embedding will happen. The embedding part will convert these things into our numbers, basically into a vectors. Okay. So already our model got trained with all our open source data, right? So our model is going to have all this data in the vector form, all this data in the numerical form. So whenever our prompt, let's say my prompt is what is the capital of India? Okay, so my prompt is going inside the model as a vector. Already a vector is available inside the model. So there will be a probability distribution will happen. So based on this probability distribution, I'll be getting out some vectors out from the model. Okay, but as a human, I cannot read those vectors. So there will be another process happening called decoding. So once the decoding is done, those vectors will get converted into human readable format. Okay, so that is how we are giving a prompt to any model, and model is sending the output to us. Okay, so this is how we are seeing the outputs. Okay, but we need to deep dive more to understand how actual things are working. Okay, so we will go one by one. Okay, till here, do you have any doubts? If you have any queries, you can put it in the chat window. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm clear. Okay, great. Okay, fine. Yeah, clear. Okay, we'll move forward then. Okay, so all these GPT models and LLaMA, all these LLM, basic LLM models, right? You need to understand all these models are based on one particular architecture called transformer architecture. Okay, so this transformer architecture works on one principle called this one. The principle is n tokens in, one token out. We need to understand about this principle. Okay, so we need to understand, if you want to understand this principle, you need to understand about what is tokenization. Okay, if you want to understand a tokenization, let me give you a real-time example. Okay, I'm going to ask this question to you all. You are going to respond in the chat window again. Okay, so have you ever given like some n pages, like let's say like 4 to 5 pages of some text or some huge paragraphs to ChatGPT? Have you ever given? If you have given, what kind of error you have faced? Have you ever given? Can you please tell in the chat window? Have you ever given like 4 to 5 pages of codes or some paragraphs or some assignments to ChatGPT? If you have given, what kind of error the ChatGPT has given? Sometimes too long message, token limit over. Great, great. And Tan is asking, can you give a overview how model works? Sure, Tan, I will be giving that overview again. Hallucination and missed details, text is too long. Yeah, so hallucination will happen, but when hallucination will happen we will discuss. But yeah, so what the major thing what will it will say is the text is too long. Okay, some people are exactly giving the technical term token limitation. I will tell you why that is a token limitation, but sometimes, most of the times, it will give you like text is too long with a warning message, right? So that is because the free version of the chat GPT that you are using, right, that is having a token limitation. Token limitation in the sense it is having 8,000 token limitation. Okay, so let me open chat GPT and show it to you how actually it works. Okay, can you able to see my chat GPT screen? Can anyone confirm, or still you are seeing only my PPT screen? Yes, ChatGPT is visible. Great. So now I'm going to ask like, what is the best fruit in the world? Okay. So if I ask this, it is giving me this answer. Okay, the best fruit really depends on personal taste, and it is giving some fruit preferences. Okay, so let me check what is token first of all. Okay, so to know what is token, I'm going to open a tokenizer here and I'm pasting the prompt that I have used. So you can see 8 tokens for my prompt. Okay, how it is 8 token? Can anyone tell how it is 8 tokens by referring this? How it has identified it as 8 tokens. Okay, 8 words, so 8 tokens. Okay, but let me give you another word here, anthropological. Okay, so anthropological is also a single word, but you can see anthropological is having 3 tokens here. Okay, so what we need to understand from this is one simple word or commonly used word is equal to always 1 token, but based on the complexity, the number of tokens might vary. Okay, so we should not stick, yeah, exactly, syllabi. Okay, based on the syllabi, the tokens vary. Okay, so now tell me, this is totally 8 token I gave given as a prompt. Okay, and I got this as a response from the GPT model. Okay, so let me copy this response and put it here. So now totally how many tokens I have used for my prompt and response? 237. Okay. So is this 237 lesser than 8,000? Because I know, right? This version I'm using here is a free version, ChatGPT free version. Free version is having a 8,000 limitation. As of now, I have consumed only 237 tokens. So whenever my input prompt and the response token, the cumulative summation of these two things is lesser than 8,000, I will not get any issues. Okay. If it is exceeding 8,000, then I will be seeing that text too large issue, that warning. Okay. I hope now you got some idea what is this token and what is the token limitation. Okay. If you pay and get like the other version of the chat GPT, like paid version, GPT plus, the limitation is like 128 K tokens. Okay. So that time it will be more. I hope now you got some idea about this tokenization and the token limitation. Is it clear? Any doubts in this? Yes, Joshua, you will be receiving a certificate after this. Okay. Okay. I hope everyone is clear with this. Fine. Let's move to the next concept. Okay. So now you understand about the tokens. So now you need to know what is this principle, right? The principle is n token in, 1 token out. My principle is saying n tokens in, 1 token out. But actually what happened? I have given 8 tokens as a prompt. I have given 8 tokens as a in, but I got how many tokens as out? Let me remove this 8 tokens from here. I gave 8 tokens in, but I got 228 token. Is it working as per principle? Because what my principle says, can anyone type the principle in the chat window? Can anyone type the principle in the chat window? Simple, right? What is the principle? N tokens in, 1 token out. Exactly. N token in, 1 token out. But I have given N token. My N token is 8 here, but I should receive only 1 token. But instead of 1 token, I have received 228 tokens. Is it working as per principle? By seeing, we are concluding it is not working as principle, right? But it is working as per principle. How it is working as per principle is, let me go back to slide and show it to you. Okay. So this is how we thought, right? Our tokenization is happening. That's fine. Tokenization happened. What will happen is once the tokenization happened, this will get converted into a vector, and these vectors will go inside the model. Then our model always, our GPT model always predict the next likely token. Okay, next likely token in the sense, what can be the next possible word? Only the next possible word it can predict. Why it can only predict next possible word? Because if you ask any question to human is having a thinking capacity. If you ask like what is the best fruit, I will be thinking like which fruit I like or which fruit taste will be too good, like that I will be thinking and I will be answering. But if you ask the same question to computer, computer cannot think. computer can only check with the previous data available with it. Okay, here all the previous data are available in the form of numericals, basically vectors, right? So we need to predict only the next word. Okay, if you predict the next word, then only it will be a viable solution. Okay, so let me show you how actual things work. Okay, so here let's say my n token is v is one token, need is one token, like that each and everything is one token. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 tokens has been given as an input. Okay, for the 6 tokens input, it will go inside the model, and the model will predict the next likely token as IZING. This particular token only it will send out from the model. Okay, once this got out, what will happen is, along with this, let me show you. So this is totally 6 token is going inside the model. Let's consider this as a model. 6 token is going inside the model will consider and send only one token out. That one token is icing. Okay, so now one token came out. As per principle, n tokens in, one token out. So now what will happen, this one token will go and join with this guy, 7 tokens. Now again 7 tokens will go inside the model will predict only the next word, and again this token will join with this 7 plus 1 8 token will go inside, we will get another next word, like that this will be keep on going in a loop. Okay, so let me show you how actually things work. So this is how it works. You can see here, this is my input token. For this input 3 tokens, I got one token out. Then what will happen, this token will join here with this tokens, and this will go inside the model, and I'm going to get the next likely token out. So like this it will be keep on going in a loop until I'm getting the completion. So the model will think like, okay, this seems to be a complete sentence, so this is the proper final output, and it will show it to us as a response. Okay, so this is how the model works, and that's how we are saying it as a n token in and one token out. So that is how the next mostly likely token has been predicted. Okay, so this is how our base model works. Yes, it works like an infinite loop until and then the completion is reached. Okay, to answer your question, Hashita, it works like that. So now you got some clear idea how actual your GPT model works. Any doubt in this? Because we all are using GPT model on our daily basis, right? Either for our professional work or personal work, but we need to understand how exactly in the backend it is working. So this is how it is working in the backend. So you need to understand about the tokenization, you need to understand about the embedding, basically the encoding and decoding, and you need to understand how the model is predicting the next likely token and sending it out, and in a loop, it is creating the entire solution for you, basically the response for you. Okay, any doubt in this? Yes, no? If you put something in the chat window, it will be helpful for me. Okay, great, fine. We'll move to the next slide then. Okay, okay, this one is very important. System message. How many of you have given system message or used system message? Maybe the term might be new. Is it means one token out is predicting the next word? Exactly, Jahidur Rahman. Only one token will be predicted, and that will come out, and it will join with the previous tokens, and it will again go to the model and predict the next word. So like that, it will be happening. I hope I answered your question. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So now we are moving to the next topic called system message. Okay. So let's go back to the GPT. Let's go back to GPT, and let me ask. Let me ask some question to GPT. Okay. Write a code for snake game. I'm asking write a code for snake game. Okay. It has given me a code. In which language it has given a code for me? In which language it has given a code for me? Python. Python, right? I didn't said anything, right? I didn't said anything like give a code in Python, and I haven't logged in. You might think like based on my previous historical record, it might given in a Python because I'm interested in Python. I haven't logged in also. This is in incognito tab. Okay, that means GPT model, this chat GPT is randomly hallucinating that okay, he might be looking for a Python code. Okay, even if I ask next time, it might give in a different language. But as a user, I might be interested in developing a snake game in .NET. Okay, but since I didn't give the proper context to the model, right? I didn't give a proper context, so it is giving some vague answer. Okay, this might work, but my agenda is to get the code in a .NET, right? So in that case, what I need to do is I need to set the context first to the model. Okay, because it is not a human, it is just a machine. So I need to ask proper question. So that proper questioning is setting up the system message. Either you can call it as a system message, or you can call it as a setting up the context. Okay, so technical term is system message. So what I can do is I can say like consider you as a .NET developer and help me in development process. It seems very simple, right? You might be thinking like, okay, what this single sentence is going to do for me, but it is very effective. How it is very effective is, now give me the snake game code. Oh, let me log in, or let me open my existing one. So let me set the system message. Again, consider yourself as a .NET developer and help me in the development process. Okay, so I'm setting up the context now. So chat GPT, this particular session will consider itself as an assistant who is going to help me in .NET development work. Okay, give me give me the code for snake game. Now you can see it is going to give me the code in .NET properly, C#.NET, right? So this is how you need to set up the system message. So once you set up the system message, it will be the response will be more effective. Okay, so that is the one thing we need to take care. So always we will be saying this as a prompt engineering, right? Whenever you are writing a prompt, you need to consider the model as a intern. Okay, so to a intern guy, how you will give the work, how you will ask the guy to work, right? You need to tell him in which language you need to write, and what is the requirement, everything you will be giving in a proper thing, right? Then only he can able to work. So like that, you need to consider the model as a intern and give the prompt. Okay, that is one of the thumb rule in prompt engineering. Okay, so now it is giving me the proper response. Okay, so that is system message for us. Okay, so that is system message. Okay, I can show you some example here. If you ask like what is your name, the model will say that I don't have a name or I am an AI assistant. But if you go and say like this kind of you are a friendly assistant called Hank, you always respond in a rhyme. If you set up the system message, then if you ask questions, it will start responding like a person called Hank with some rhyming responses, right? So that is how the system message is going to give some effective output to you. Okay. I hope from now onwards, whoever is attending this session is going to use a system message before starting giving your prompts, okay? Because it is going to be very effective. Can you all please raise your hand if you are going to give a system message, at least from now, so that it will be helpful for you? Yes, yes. Great, great. Okay, awesome. Fine. Okay, we'll move to the next topic now. Okay. So next one is very important. The important concept is called RAG. Okay, how many of you know, or how many of you are familiar with RAG? Can you please raise your hand? How many of you are familiar with RAG? Oh, many. Okay. Dipan Kumar, I couldn't able to understand your question. What will be the user and assistant? In which context you're asking, like user or and assistant in the sense? Could you please elaborate your question? Yeah, system message is just for setting up the context. That's it. Okay. So you can set up the context. Yeah, it depends on you as Gabriel mentioned. Okay. Okay, so we'll move to this RAG concept, retrieval augmented generation. So why this RAG is very important? Let's say I go to any GPT model and ask what is the leave policy? Okay, what will be the expected answer if I go and ask to any GPT model? Let's say Chat GPT itself. Okay, I'm asking what is the leave policy? I'm working in a company called ABC. So my understanding is ChatGPT should give a leave policy about my company, right? So in that, I'm asking like, what is leave policy? But ChatGPT doesn't know that I'm working in ABC company, and ChatGPT doesn't know that what is the leave policy of the company ABC. So ChatGPT will hallucinate and it will give some vague answer about the general leave terms that it knows from the previous data. Okay, so you can see like it is giving a generalized things about the leave policy about the companies, right? But what if you are creating an application for your company and you want to integrate AI into that application? Let's say you're building an AI powered HR application. So any employees go to that HR application, and if they ask like what is my leave policy, or what is the how many days I will get as a paternity or maternity leave as per our company policy, means it should give the exact company oriented answer, that particular organization based answer, right? So to do that you need to have a model, and also you need to have a rack system. Okay, so why you need a rack system? You can see here, you can see this user question is nothing but your prompt. Okay, you are going to give the prompt. In RAG, what will happen is this prompt will go to your data. This is called RAG. Okay, so you will be having your data first, because GPT model doesn't understand or doesn't have the knowledge about your organization. So you need to have that knowledge base first. For example, let's say I will download my company's handbook, employee handbook, which contains about the leave policy, which contains about the appraisal cycle, everything. So that handbook is the knowledge book for me, knowledge base. Okay, what I will do is I will set up a rack system. In that case, my prompt will first go to my knowledge base. Okay, you can see here it will go to my knowledge base and it will retrieve the answer from the knowledge base. If I ask what is the leave policy, it will go to that knowledge base of my handbook, employee handbook. From my handbook, it will get the answers like how many days for casual leave, how many days for annual leave, everything it will take along with the prompt, and along with the answer. You can see add results to the prompt along with the prompt and the result. Then it will go to the model. Instead of directly going to the model without RAG, what will happen? Without RAG, directly this will go to the model. But we are not directly going to the model. Instead of that, we are going to our knowledge base and getting the actual accurate answer and then going to the model. Now our LLM model will frame a proper sentence and then give us a end result to us. Okay, so this is the simplest thing. This is very simple but very effective if you want to create any application for your organization basic. Okay, so this is very simple and effective. We are going to see how to implement this RAG from our side. Okay, any doubt in this RAG theoretical part? Don't worry, I'm going to show you practically how this RAG works. Any doubts still here? Okay, with this we are going to move to the demo. Okay, but before going to demo, you need to understand like there are a lot of models available, right, in market. Like every week a new model is coming, right? So you need to understand what model I need to use for my use case. Okay, so even if you go to Azure AI Foundry, you will be seeing a lot of models. Okay, you can see these are all the available models in the Azure AI Foundry. I can show you, I can log in and I can show you the available models as well. Okay, all your OpenAI models will be there. Every company has their own model. Meta is having their model. Okay, can anyone tell like what is the model name of your Meta AI application that is used in your WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and all the things? What is the model used behind your Meta AI application? Could you please put that in the chat window? No idea? Can you all quickly open your WhatsApp, click on the Meta AI icon, see the top left corner. Yes, Sudesh, correct. But if you want to get the more accurate answer with the version, open your Meta AI application, see the top left corner. Under Meta AI, the name, there will be a model with the version name. Yes, Sanjula, the recording will be uploaded. You will be getting the recording. LLaMA 3.0. Yeah, exactly. LLaMA 3.2. LLaMA is the model created by Meta company, and 3.2 is the version. Similarly, how OpenAI is having a GPT-3, 3.5, 4, 4.0, LLaMA is also one of the model. Okay, so like that, many models are there. GPT model is there, LLaMA model is there, DALI model is there, Stable Diffusion models are there. Like that, Mistral, Phi, everything is a model. Okay, so there are a lot of models available, and this Azure AI Foundry is a one-stop solution where you can able to deploy any model you want based on your requirement. Okay, so that is what we are going to see now. Let me go to Azure portal. Okay, before going to Azure portal, I just want to understand how many of you are Azure users already. How many of you know what is Azure and you have created some basic services in Azure? Could you please raise your hand? I'm Azure user. I'm raising my hand. Great. Okay, fine. Yeah, thank you guys. So if you're new to Azure, this is how the Azure portal homepage looks like. If you go to portal.azure.com, portal.azure.com, you will get navigated to this Azure portal homepage. And if you're a new user, I can give you like tips. You can use up to 200 USD for free, US dollars subscription for free in Azure if you subscribe for the free tier. Okay, so for 30 days you can use that 200 US dollars and explore all the Azure AI services and any other Azure services. Okay, so this is our Azure portal. From here you can create n number of services, all the cloud services you can create based on your requirement, whether if you are interested in AI, you're interested in analytics, storage, networking, like that. More than 250, 300 services are there in this Azure portal. But now we are interested in Azure AI. Okay, so let me search for Azure AI Foundry. So this is Azure AI Foundry. Let me create one new Azure AI Foundry service. Let me create a Azure AI Hub. So subscription, this is nothing but like how you have a subscription for your Amazon or Netflix, right? To use that particular service, you need to have a subscription for billing and all. So like that, you will be having a subscription for Azure as well. You can see a single user can have multiple subscription. I'm having 2 subscriptions. I can choose any subscription that I'm interested of. Basically, if I choose this subscription, all my costing will be billed to this particular subscription. Okay, and resource group is nothing but it's a logical container. It is exactly similar to your folders in your system. You will be keeping your files inside the folder, right? Similarly, you will be keeping all your services or resources inside this resource group. This is just a container, so I'm going to create a new resource group like code without barriers. Let's say CWB. This is not going to do anything, just a container. Okay, just a logical container, that's it. Region, in which particular region I need to deploy this particular resource. Okay, so let me deploy this in East US right now. And a name, let me give some name, CWB AI service. So this need to have a associated storage account to store all the data, everything. So I'm going with the default name itself for the storage. Then I'm going with the default options for all other networking and identity thing. So with this simple one page, I'm creating my Azure AI Foundry Hub. It will take just a couple of minutes, lesser than a couple of minutes, basically. Validation is done. Now I'm clicking on create. So what I'm doing is I'm creating one Azure AI Foundry Hub in a East US region under my subscription. That's it. Once I created this, I can go and use any of the AI models available over there. That is the idea behind this. By the time if you have any queries, you can put it in the chat window. I'm happy to answer that. You can see my services are getting created. Yeah, for your question, Gabriel, Surag can answer. Yes, one subscription is more than enough. Since I have multiple subscription, I'm showing you the options available. One subscription is more than enough. You can get your free Azure subscription, as I said, with the 200 US dollars, and you can use it. Or if you are working as an in an organization and you have like an enterprise license, you can use the pay as you go subscription, and you can explore all the services. Yeah. So this is my Azure service. Let me launch it. So this is my hub. Okay. So inside this hub, I'm going to create a project. Okay. I can create n number of projects inside this. So let me create a new project. Let's say CWB project. Create this. So inside this project, I can go and I can do all my services. Let me show you what and all I can do inside the project. Okay. Okay. So this is my project. As I already said, Azure AI Foundry is your one-stop solution. It is having all the models that you need. If you go to model catalog, you can able to see n number of models available here. Okay. So n number of models available here. Based on your requirement, you go and choose whichever model you want. Even DeepSeek model is also available here. Okay. So like that, all the models will be available for you. Okay. So for now, let's go with OpenAI models. Okay. I'm going with the OpenAI models, but you can go with any model that you want. Let's say I want to build an application. For that, I need a model. What I can do is I can come here. I can choose that model. Let's say I need a embedding model. Okay. I can go to this embedding model, simply click on this embedding model, and then I can deploy it immediately. So according to the region, the service varies. It depends. According to the region I choose, the cost varies. And also that totally depends upon the services that you're using. For example, if I take a storage account, maybe in East US, the ingress cost will be comparatively less uh, compared to Central US. It totally depends. Okay. For all those costing related to regions versus services, you can go to Azure portal and you can check for it. Okay. Yeah. To put it in a nutshell, yes, it varies. The costing varies. Okay. Yeah, so I clicked on text embedding ADA not 2, and I'm going to click on deploy. That's it. With a single click, I'm going to use this model. I'm ready to consume this model. Okay, so with a single click, I'm ready to consume this model. Cannot be found in this workspace. Default OpenAI. Fine. This got deployed to me now. Okay, so now I'm good to consume this model. How I can consume this model? You can see here, endpoint is there and also key will be available. Okay, so if I'm building any application, and for that application if I'm interested in using this particular embedding model, I can use this endpoint and key here. Let me show you this one simple code. Okay, let me share my screen. So let me show you the code for it. Uh, Give me a second. I couldn't able to share my VS Code with you. I'm trying to drag it. Give me a second. Please bear with me, guys. I'm facing some issue. Yeah, I think we are good now. Yeah, let me open my code, which I have for a simple project. So this is the code that I have. So from this code, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one simple Python application. Can you able to see my visual code?
Yes, we can
Yes.
see it.
Okay, great.
Uh, right now you have closed it.
Is it visible now?
Mhm. Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, sorry for that hiccup, guys. Okay, so this is the application, simple application that I created. What this application will do is it is going to rank my resume. So for ranking my resume, I need a model. I need an AI model. So for that, what I can do is I can take the AI endpoint and key from my Azure AI Foundry. Okay, let me quickly show that. So this is my endpoint. I'm copying my endpoint and putting it here. And then I need to copy the key and I need to have it here. Okay, so that's it. So once I have the endpoint and key, I'm good to consume this particular uh, model. Okay, so what I can do is I can say I can run my application here. Let me quickly run this application and show it to you. Then we will quickly spend 5 minutes on RAG. So this is a application Flask-based application. So what the HRs can do is HR can select the job title, let's say data engineer, and they can choose the skills they are interested in, and they can give some job description like CI/CD, or they should have their own predefined job description, right? So they can give all those wordings here, and then they can choose n number of resumes that they are interested in. Okay, so let me choose right now. Let me choose 3 resumes and then submit it. I hope it should work because yeah, it is not working. Resource not found. I know. Let me. Let me run this again. Okay, you can see basically what it did is it ranked my resume. So based on the input that I have given, it is saying that this resume is having 78 score, this is 78.2, this is 78.07. That means with this, if I get like hundreds and thousands of resumes, the HRs no need to open each and every resume and decide whether they are good for the interview or not. Okay, they can simply give all the resumes to this model, this AI application, and the AI application will take care of ranking it. Okay, so now I can send this guy to interview. Okay, so if you have like thousands of resumes, think how much time you are saving for your HR team. Okay, so how I achieved this? That's we need to know. Okay, how I achieved, we need to know. Basically, I'm doing a ranking here. How I'm doing a ranking here is you have seen the front end page, right? So for each and every text I am giving here, I'm collecting all this information and I'm converting that to a vector. Okay, and all my resumes that I am giving, right, three resumes also I'm converting it to a vector. So now I am having two vectors, v1 and v2, vector 1 and vector 2. So between these two vectors I'm calculating the cosine similarity. Okay, so whenever the angle between my vector 1 and vector 2 is less, that means the angle between my job requirement and the resume is less, then that resume rank will be more. Okay, so that is the concept behind cosine similarity. So to do that, I need a model called embedding model. This embedding model is nothing but it helps you to convert your text or alphabets to a vector. So now based on this requirement, you need to understand this model I should use. Okay. So like that for each and every requirement, you need to understand which model you should use. Okay. Let me quickly go back to my portal and show you the chat playground. Let's say I want to simply chat. Okay, for simply doing a chat, what model you prefer? Anyone can put it in the chat window. For simply doing a chat, what model you will prefer? I don't want to do any embedding. I don't want to do any video creation or audio creation. I simply want to do a chat. LLaMA 3, okay, GPT, great. Yeah, these models I can use, right? Let's say I want to create a simple chat application for my company. I'm going with a GPT-4, okay? So I'm quickly deploying one GPT-4 model, and then I'm going to use it for my chat application. Let's say here I can go and say hi. So this will work as a simple chat application. 4O mini also I can use. Yeah. So this particular chat application, you can see here, right? Here I can give anything I want. Can anyone tell what is this place? I'm giving a text here. What is the technical name for this? Yes, this is a system message. Okay. Here you can configure system message. So I'm saying like, hey, you consider yourself as a assistant of an company called HR data company. Okay. So from this point of time, my chat application will behave like an assistant of an HR data company. Okay. But that doesn't mean that this guy will know my leave policy. Why? Because this will just mimic like an assistant who is working in HR data company. Let me ask, can you give me the leave policy? Or let's say like I joined in March, or I joined in July 2024. Will I be eligible for this March 2025 appraisal? This company. This guy is just a mimic like an assistant, AI assistant, but it is not giving the exact answer of my HR data company, right? Because this GPT-4o doesn't have that knowledge. So for this, what we can do to achieve this exact thing, what we can do, any idea? We have discussed this. What we need to implement? Anyone? Put it in the chat window. RAG, exactly, RAG. So how to implement RAG? Let me quickly show it to you. So this one is giving a vague answer. Yes, great, everyone is correct. This one is giving a vague answer. So I want to work for my company. So I want to make this application work for my company. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on add your data, add new data source. So I can create a knowledge base. I can create anywhere I want. Okay. So let me put a Azure Blob Storage. I already have one data in that. Okay. So let me show you what data I have so that it will be easy for you to understand. So I have a storage account called Global A 2025 HRB. Inside that, what I did is I kept one particular container called company data. Inside that company data, I have a PDF. So what this PDF will have is, let me show it to you what this is having. So this is kind of my employee handbook. So this is going to have like HR data company performance review policy, like when you are eligible, when you're not eligible, what is the performance rating of this company. So for HR data company, this is the performance review document. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, yeah. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use this particular thing as a knowledge base for my project. So I'm going to use this as storage account, and the container name is a company data container. Credential based authentication type account key. I need to give the key here. Okay, so I'm going to get the key from the storage account. So this is my key. Let me give the key. I'm creating a connection. That's it. So this is my storage account and it will show the data here. Oops. It is not allowing me to use it from a different subscription. Give me a second. Let me quickly do that. I know we are ahead of time, but I just want to show you this RAG. Storage is not there. Or I will do one thing. I have an existing RAG one created. Let me show it from there so that we'll be on time. I hope this one will be quick. Okay, so this is the chat playground. Let me choose the model, and here I can add the data quickly. Yeah, this is my company performance review data. And let me choose this. Oh, again, a quota issue. No worries, it happens all the time when we are doing a demo. But what I'm trying to convey here is once the document has been uploaded here, then from that point of time, when you ask any questions related to your company, it will be giving you an exact answer. Okay, so exact answer, it will fetch from the document and it will frame it and it will give it to you. So that is how this RAG works. Okay. So that is RAG based AI application. So whenever you get some time, kindly go and upload your data in this add a new data source and ask question. Ask question before adding it and ask question after adding it. You will find the difference. Due to the time constraint, I couldn't able to show it to you now, but this is how the RAG works. Okay, sorry for that, guys. And I will just give a glimpse about this agents. Can we add multiple data sources? Yes, you can add multiple data sources. Okay, you are good to have multiple data sources here. So I will just give a glimpse about this agents in just 30 seconds. So agent is nothing but it will do some action based on the prompts or based on the thing that you're providing. It will do an action. Let's say it will do a tool calling or a functional calling. Okay, for example, if you ask like what are all the rooms available near my location, it will go check the rooms availability in the websites, doing API calls and get you list of rooms available. And if you say like book the rooms for 2 days from this day to that day, then it will book the room for you. So it is happening because of the function calling. Okay, so that is agents. But you need to get well versed with this fundamentals, like creating a basic application and a rack based application. Then you can move with your agents. Okay, agents are something new, that is a new buzzing thing revolving around everywhere. So that's how it is. Okay, I I think, yeah, I'm good with this. Thanks everyone for joining. If you have any queries and anything, right, you can directly reach out to me in my LinkedIn. I'm happy to connect with you all and answer your questions. I write a lot about the data and AI. Okay, so this is my LinkedIn ID. You can connect with me over there. With this, I'm handing over to Surag. Thanks a lot, Surag. I'm done.
Thank you, Arun, for the session. Wait 1 second. Let me draw my hope visible now. Okay. Okay. Uh, Thank you everyone for joining as well. I will drop Harun's LinkedIn over chat box as well if anybody is not able to scan it. So please do connect with him, and he's also sharing a lot of knowledge over his LinkedIn, so you can support him over his LinkedIn as well. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. I will now share your certificate link along with our upcoming training, and please to join one of our communities so that you will get the update from the next sessions, and you can you also engage with the peers in the community as well. After you join the community, if you just fill out the form. That is basically a feedback form, and you can just go on with the day, and we will send out certificate tomorrow by the end of the day. Okay. That's all for the today's session. And also, I just want to remind it about a recording that will be provided, and also the certificate of participation by tomorrow over the email that you have used for the registering. Okay. And also about Code Without Barriers, the woman who has joined us today, make sure you join the Code Without Barriers so that you are making use of all the opportunity that they are offering for free for the woman in tech. Okay, so make sure you check out. I'll drop that link as well. Okay, that is it for the today. And thank you all again for joining, and thank you for Harun for taking the time. It is already late after work.
Yeah,
Taking
yeah,
the
yeah.
time to share your knowledge. Really,
It's
really
nice connecting
appreciate
with you,
that.
Surag. Yeah,
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And
yeah,
thank you everyone for joining. Have a great rest of the day.
yeah.
And see you in the upcoming session.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you guys.
Harun.
You can share your learnings in LinkedIn and tag us, tag Stavia, myself, and Surak, so that it will help others also. You can summarize what you have learned today and put it in LinkedIn as a post. You can showcase with your friends like what you have learned today. That will help you as well as others. Yeah, thank you all.
Okay, thank you. Make sure you don't miss out on doing that, and tag Harun and Stav as well.
Yeah,
Thank you. Good
bye.
day.
Good day.
Bye. Okay, thank